अस्सलामुअलैकुम नाजरीन, रिपोर्टर्स डायरी के साथ मैं हूं समीना वकार। गुज़िश्ता दिनों आर्च बिशप ऑफ कैंटरबरी डॉक्टर रोवन विलियम्स ने पाकिस्तान का दौरा किया। इस बारे में हमारे नुमाइंदा रजा खान की उनसे बातचीत, आइए देखते हैं।
So in your opinion, what is the solution to the simmering disputes throughout the world which are based on religion? Is it interreligious dialogue?
I think the way in which we resolve our disputes as religious communities is, first of all, by listening very carefully to each other. And I would say that that listening must take at least two forms. First of all, we must listen to the problems that others are experiencing. The sense of grievance or injustice, the sense of exclusion, the sense of being at a distance from the way society works. These are issues faced by young Muslims in the West as they are by Christians in some Muslim countries. But then we need to listen to each other as we pray, as we read our scriptures, as we lead our believing lives and think about them with each other. And out of that listening, I believe, dialogue grows, the kind of dialogue that makes a difference.
What, in your opinion, should be done to get the youth on board so that this interfaith dialogue process can succeed?
It seems to me absolutely crucial that those who organize dialogue should make sure that at the grassroots, it's young people who are most directly involved. They're the ones often who feel the greatest sense of alienation, but they're also often the ones who feel the greatest sense of hope, who feel impatience with a situation of hostility or of misunderstanding and who want therefore to overcome it. But this needs a great deal of work and a great deal of planning, because so much of the dialogue is dominated by professional religious people like myself of a certain age, and we need therefore young people themselves to take a lead under the encouragement of their teachers.
Pakistan is at the forefront of war against terrorism, and President Musharraf is taking Pakistan on the road to moderation by following his ideology of enlightened moderation. What is your opinion about this?
I think that the policy of enlightened moderation must be the future for this country and indeed for the Islamic world. I think that if Pakistan is able at this crucial moment to realize that enlightened moderation in all aspects of its life, it will really be a beacon for the rest of the Islamic world and a real sign of hope for the whole human family. I think that what we are beginning to see in Pakistan is, in the wake of the terrible tragedies that have afflicted this country in recent months and which have so shocked the whole world, in the wake of that, many Pakistanis I've spoken to in recent days have felt their resolve and their vision strengthened. We must now build. We mustn't just do ambulance work. We must help in the reconstruction of a country that is a country of real moral substance and moral vision. And so even this appalling tragedy has, in some sense, provided a springboard to think about the future of the country, its moral and spiritual character.
Pakistan has recently suffered a great tragedy in the form of the earthquake. What are your thoughts regarding that, and what would you be saying to your own countrymen in UK and other Western countries?
I would want to say two or three things in particular about this catastrophe. First of all, I don't think it had really dawned on me before coming here just how widespread the impact had been. I don't simply mean geographically. I mean that so many people I've met have known those whose families have been affected, who've often lost many family members. It's not just a local thing in the places where the catastrophe has been worst. Its effects have rippled outwards. So I'd want to underline that this is a real crisis and blow for the whole of the country, not just for some regions. The second thing I'd want to say is that the level of organization of some of the relief work that I've seen here has been exemplary. I think the people have thought very carefully about the priorities in relief work, particularly education. 2 days ago, I spent some time with children in one of the tent villages at Islamabad, where I watched children following the curriculum they would have been following in their home territories had they been there, often taught by those who were teachers in those home territories. In other words, the relief has built on what is there and made creative use of it. Just as I've also seen people learning and practicing skills, income-generating skills, they're not just being allowed to be victims. So that is a very positive thing about the way in which relief is being administered. So I can say you can be confident that there is a great deal of expertise and skill in the way relief is being conducted here. And third and finally, I would want to say that the level of volunteer response in Pakistan has been very remarkable. It's as if a whole culture of volunteering has come to maturity in the face of this crisis. In addition to governmental response, there's been a great wave of response from volunteers, and this has to be good for the country as a whole in the long run.
President Musharraf recently addressed the World Jewish Congress, and he spoke of the commonality between the three Abrahamic faiths, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. What is your opinion about that?
Jews, Christians, and Muslims are able, I think, to understand one another in a way that none of them can always understand some of the other great faiths of the world, because they share a basic shape to the story they tell, the story of God's dealings with the human race. Whatever our disagreements, we shall always have elements of that story in common. And that means we also have some sense in common of what the priority is for human beings, who are, for Christians certainly, made in God's image, that is, deserving of that kind of respect and awe from others. And that common element of human dignity that we all share, stemming from the Abrahamic tradition, that certainly ought to be in the forefront of our political and moral thinking today.
Christian community has played a constructive role in almost every sphere of life in Pakistan. Are you satisfied with their involvement in national affairs?
Well, I have no statistics about the involvement of Christians in the professions, so I can't speak with any authority about this. I would simply say that the Pakistani Christians I know and have met on this visit want nothing more than to be full citizens of this nation and have every opportunity afforded to them.
So finally, what would be your message to the people of Pakistan?
My message to the people of Pakistan is, first of all, that the Christian community worldwide feels for them, prays with them in the wake of the challenge and the disaster that they've faced in recent months. And I hope that that can be heard and indeed acted upon by our nations, by our churches. Secondly, I long and I pray for the day when a Pakistan of enlightened moderation will take its place as a leader, a beacon for the Islamic nations in setting forward that agenda of dialogue and mutual understanding which the world now so needs. And my third message is very simply to thank the people of Pakistan for the welcome that I and my party have received in these recent days in this very remarkable and wonderful country.
नाज़रीन, आज के प्रोग्राम में शामिल हमारी दूसरी रिपोर्ट पाकिस्तान में आईटी के शोबे में होने वाली तरक्की के हवाले से है।